we were going to walk all that way with the That's right here. I lost the sheep, look.
Hello, Upwell&onwards here, and welcome to a Model Rail Network review. Now, dodgy autofocus again. Don't know. It's always been a habit with these videos I do. Means I'm back. Now, to save getting a crick in my neck having a look at that screen, I actually took the time to write down the questions. Seems sensible enough. And first of all, before starting the questions, I would just like to say, whoever thought of these really put some thought into them. I mean, these are good questions. These are really good. So, without further ado, better get set to read the first one, which is, can I describe my layout in under a minute? Well, I got two, so I'll do 30 seconds for both, starting now. Alright, the first one, which is the big one here, it is basically a single loop continuous layout that I am trying to turn into a double track loop, double track continuous, hopefully within time. It's roughly based along the East Anglia of the UK, somewhere along that line, going for steam on the layouts definitely. As for the micro one, it's going to be based on a bit of an industrial coal mine scene. Basically, sort of a mix between New Zealand and English style coal mining. Whereas, well, for the UK, you guys had the narrow gauge go straight up to the coal head, mine head for it. Here in New Zealand, well, as the Denniston Incline presents, we pretty much went straight to the source with our network railway. So yeah, which on its own is quite an achievement. I'm keeping that screw up in there just for the giggles, and I just made it. All right. What first inspired me into the hobby? Two things. First of all, admittedly, is that silly blue tank engine when I was a child. When I was like 3 or 4, something like that. Yeah. Pretty much used to watch it until I turned 7. And yeah, there was a fair bit of a blank period there. I guess I could say I see modelling as a bit of an outlet these days because of what happened about 6 years ago. Pretty much it was a bit of a dark time, and I saw the hobby as a nice outlet to get back into social life, get back to being creative, to try and, well, be me again, frankly. And yeah, it's actually been helping a lot. It really has been. And now, 6 years down the track, I'm happy. Back to my old self. Can be better. Can be better. Okay, what's next? What's my favorite bit about my layout? Well, on the big one, it would have to be the track work, because clearly, who enjoys making a complete mess on their layout? Yeah. There's a reason why the camera's facing me and this computer's here. It's blocking some of the mess. It is a pigsty at the moment. I really got to clean it up. Reason it's a mess, been doing a bit of work here and there, and had to move some stuff out of the way. Had to get some tools out, some materials. that type of deal. And it got a little out of hand. Whoops. Micro layout though, on that one, I enjoy the scenery work on it. You know, cutting up bits of foam, shaping them to how I want it, gluing them in place, and if need be, plastering a bit of old newspaper on it. Bit of a paper mache trick. I'm not going to go more into depth on that because I'd be spoiling a future video. While I'm filming this, I'm thinking of doing other videos, so yeah, time difference, pain in the backside. If I could add one thing to my layout, without cost being a factor, what would it be and why? Okay, the annoying thing is that it says one thing. Actually, I think I can list what I want under one thing. Expansion. Basically, turning this 8'4" board into something like, I don't know, 12'6". And also having a spiral helix from one of the sidings around this area go straight down and link up with the micro layout. I admit, with the height gap, it would take a fair bit of time for a small coal train to get moved from the micro up, but it adds a bit of flair, I guess. And as for why, 1, I could run more trains. 2, I can run better trains. And 3, it looks cool. Okay, what's next? If I could start over again, unlikely, what would I model and why? Well, quite frankly, I wouldn't. I mean, I just wouldn't start over again, because in all fairness, ever since I got the baseboard, this baseboard, I should say, the current track configuration is in like its 6th form. It's the 6th time I mucked with it. And when I get the extension boards on it, that will happen sometime, hopefully this year or early next year, it will be mucked with again and in a 7th form, I guess. The thing is though, I don't know why anyone would ever ask if I could start again. I mean, obviously new ideas, new opinions, new thoughts always do come to mind, but I honestly would not start again. I honestly wouldn't. Not even if someone gave me the amount of money I had put into this hobby to start again. No, I wouldn't. And for those of you watching in the UK, I got about 10 grand in this. So I ain't changing one darn thing unless it's to improve it. I ain't starting over. No way, Miss Molly. Okay, what is next for your layout? Okay, that's a bit of serendipity, I think, the term is. Yeah. Next up for the big layout. The big layout is, as I said, the extension boards, if and when I get them, or am able to build them. Still trying to figure that out, because this is supposed to be a portable layout, and the legs down at that end of the board have to come off when I have to move it. So for that end, I'm going to have to try and figure out the screw holes for the bit of timber, so that way I can still get at the screws with a drill, take the screws out to take the legs off. Yeah, I think I might need a 10mm, maybe a 15mm bore piece for that. I don't know. Oh boy. Okay. As for the micro layout, well, once I finish with the rough work of the scenery, of the foam, the rough foam work of the scenery, I'm going to start plastering the scenery in a bit. And yeah, hopefully, no promises, but hopefully by the end of the year, I'll have some scatter material over it. Running trains, no bothering, all that. And yeah, I'll finally have a place to put my little coal merchant hut, as well as my trucks. Okay, name the last YouTube video you watched. Well, I can't think of it offhand because last one I watched was about 4 hours ago. It's currently 6:15 here in New Zealand, so hang on. Let me just do a little check. I know this is uncommon how you do it and all, but work with me here. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. Okay. The last video I watched was SDJR7F88's channel update for May this year. And I've actually have been watching a fair bit of his work. Either clips of stuff of the weathering and renumbering he's done, or videos of his work at show, how he is at shows and that. I mean, it is beautiful. I mean, beautiful work, mate. You do some real good work. Callum Wilcox, I believe his name is. Yeah. I got some people who do wall layouts that would love to see your work, man. I'm not kidding. Okay, what's next? What do I like about Model Rail Network? Okay, this is going to take a bit of time. Okay, what I really like about it is it's a really friendly environment, so to speak. I mean, the admins, they are great people. They are really good. So the people in there, they're always friendly. I think it's a requirement when you join the group. But yeah, they are very friendly. They're very friendly. A good handful of modelling tips and contacts I now know in the UK. I actually got from Model Rail Network, including Richard of New Junction, who ironically is one of my early subscribers. Oh man. But yeah, it's really friendly. It's a really friendly group. Lots and lots of really helpful and handy tips, advice. Very fun. We competitions now and then. Very fun. I do try and enter as many as I can, but you know, time zone differences, as well as, well, being pretty much on the other side of the planet compared to most of the other modelers. It does make it a bit tricky, but I do try. And yeah, I just love it. I mean, it is something anyone who does a model rail channel can easily really get the firm hold of and just love it. It's brilliant. Okay, here's a real good one. What would you recommend? Another screw up that's staying in, because my editing skills are still rubbish. Would you recommend Model Rail Network to your friends and other people in the hobby? Oh yeah, most definitely. Most definitely, yes. A good friend of mine who's Aussie, who lives down here in my hometown. He's a modeler, American style, so bit across the Atlantic with him. But yeah. Basically, yeah, I would highly recommend him to the channel, and I think I have sent him an invite to the group page on Facebook. But basically, it is a really, really, really good group. I would definitely recommend them to anyone I know in the hobby, and also friends of mine in the hobby. Most definitely, yeah. And it's just great fun. Yeah. Now, since I've done all the questions, I guess that is it. Now, on behalf of my own channel, and of course, naturally, Model Rail Network's channel, whom I'll happily put a link into their channel in the description below. This is Upwell and Onwards saying, it's great to be back, and see you later.